Now it's going. Oh boy, this might be laggy. This might be too much for my little laptop to handle.
Well, I can tell you, I can see you on live. I'm watching you on live now. It's like a 4 or 5 second delay.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always delayed a little. All right, check. All right, let's do this thing before it dies again, huh?
Check. Yeah.
Okay.
I figure we got about 10 minutes.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Episode 107 of Dave's Dugout. We are live here on Instagram, on YouTube. We got special guest Kyle Hoffman on the line. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope it's not too laggy or delayed. It looks like it's struggling a little, but we've got our call up thanks to Facebook Messenger, the second time now. It's actually working. I've had Kyle on the phone we're almost pushing an hour. We've had a lot of technical difficulties here. Thank you, Adobe and Microsoft. That was fun to fix. That was not fun. And then we set up a Google Duo account. That didn't work either. And so thanks for Kyle for rolling with these punches. And so Kyle, first off, I guess, how's your day been going besides me interrupting and keeping you on the phone for forever?
Well, I got up, had breakfast, went to the gym, and then sat down on my couch, and I've been waiting for you to get it together ever since.
That sounds about right. I think if I had to recap, that probably sounds pretty accurate. So for everybody, we are gonna.
And I pulled up the.
You pulled up what?
Go ahead. I pulled up the YouTube feed for you to see how it's going. It looks good, just to reassure you.
Oh, okay, cool. See, this is what's nice having a second person.
Yeah,
you get like a. So for everybody that doesn't know, I kind of said we're actually really late. I said we are gonna do this on Saturday, and it's Monday morning. I kind of teased and said we are gonna do a fantasy football episode, but we're here, better late than never. And Kyle, I mean, the first thing I guess I kind of wanted to talk about. Obviously, I think the first couple rounds, people always want to know like their draft position. It's hard because there's like so many scenarios and like, I don't know. It's like if you're drafting second and you're drafting 12th, it's so different, and everybody's league is going to go different. So you can never just be like, hey, do this in the first round. That's impossible. But what pick did you have? Were you 3 or 4 or 5?
I was the fourth pick in our draft.
Okay.
This past Saturday.
So this might work two different perspectives because I was 9, so you were towards the top and I was towards the bottom. I think you might agree too because I think in their group you were like, who has the 5th pick? That's where things get interesting. I think that's true too. I think the first 3 or 4 picks, you could kind of just flip a coin on any of them, and I would be content with the first 4 guys. I don't know about you. Where do you think that kind of falls off, that first original drop, I guess?
Yeah, I would say for a half PPR or PPR league, you'd want to be like McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook, Jones, and Elliott are my top 5, and then Derrick Henry probably after that, just because he doesn't catch a lot of passes. But I would say, yeah, any of those top like 8 running backs, McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook, Elliott, Henry, Jones, Barkley, if you are trusting in his recovery, which as a Giants fan, I hope so, but I didn't take him. And then you got like Jonathan Taylor too, if you hope that what's their offensive lineman's name? Whatever his they have some ridiculous offensive lineman who's out with that same injury as Carson Wentz. If he's back, he's like the best in the league. So I like Taylor to push for a top 5 this year too. And that's your man.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised and not surprised he was there at 9. It seems like that's kind of where he's going in most leagues. I think ADP's 9 right now. So, I think I really like him at 9. I don't know if I would want to take him in your spot at 4 or 5. I think you wouldn't be crazy, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend it either, if that makes sense. But do you have to take Christian at 1, or could you take Cook and Kamara? Would people just look at you crazy?
I mean, I wouldn't look at you really crazy, but the ceiling for Christian McCaffrey is just so high that you can't really make an intelligent decision to go any other way. Like even last year when he was hurt all year. I'm looking at his points right now. Hurt. Comes back in week 9 against Kansas City, 32 fantasy points. Continues to be hurt, and or no, I'm looking at the opposite way. Week 1, 27. Week 2, 22. Hurt till KC, 32. Hurt the rest of the season. So he's like a lock to just go off if he's on the field, and his usage is ridiculous. They give him the ball 30 times, so you can't really go any other way. But
Wow,
if you want to,
that's crazy. You might have just persuaded me because I was gonna say I don't know if the gap's gonna be as big as we think it is because my perspective before you said that, which you're almost changing it, was I think if you had like 5 or 6, 7 running backs like we're talking about, the chances of one of them being one at the end of the year, I was gonna say might be better than us just picking one guy and saying he's gonna be the best. I just feel like the chances of that are so. I mean, there's 300. Like, what are the chances we all say, hey, this guy's gonna be number one, and he ends up being number one at the end of the year? I don't know how often that happens, but I feel like it's got to be less than we think.
well, let me tell you the last, like, from my research, they don't repeat. I think the last person to repeat as RB1 year to year was Adrian Peterson in like 2012. So basically you can discount Kamara as not the number one because he was the number one last year. So it could be McCaffrey. I'm hoping it's Zeke Elliott because I took him, but who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean, so I think you're right. I mean, maybe if he plays, he is the best guy out there. But like you said, I don't know. I just think running backs, especially in the NFL, it's just so hard to stay healthy, so hard to just be that good year after year. I mean, you kind of said it too. So I mean, I'm not out here trying to tell people Christian McCaffrey's not going to be number one. I just think the chances he just does it every year are just slim. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, total sense.
I do too with I think Cook, Henry, Kamara. I don't know if the Saints are going to be the same without Drew Brees, but last year, I mean, my God, he looked like just a different breed of human. Like, he was just so good last year. It was insane. But if I had a top 5 pick, I'd be very comfortable with any of them, honestly. It's like whoever falls to you. I don't know. Then it gets sketchy. Kyle. Where do you start taking a wide receiver or Kelsey, or do you keep, like, our draft was actually even more, I think, than most people's. I think we went 8 picks or 7 picks running backs, and then 12 of our top 14 in our league were running backs. So there were only 2 wide receivers in the top 14 picks, and Kelsey fell all the way to 15 in our league, which is crazy. He's averaging at 8 right now on ADP, so he almost doubled his his ADP in our league. But where are you at, like that 7 or 8 range? Are you taking a wide receiver maybe?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm all about the RBs, so I don't blame you for taking Adams around like 6 at the highest. But I mean, there's all those running backs I feel more comfortable with because there's just so much value in wide receiver in the later rounds. Like you can get guys who are pushing for top 10 in the 3rd round. So I really feel strongly about going for running back. But I don't really blame you taking like Adams or Diggs or Tyreek Hill in the first. In fantasy football as you can get over the last 5 years. So I don't blame that either, but he did have a ridiculous season last year. Who knows if at some point he's going to fall off and not be the number one. And I don't foresee that being this year, but
right, it's inevitable.
You kind of got to make your mind up about him to start. Yeah.
It's unless he's Tom Brady.
It's a hell of an advantage to have him.
It's got to stop at some point. But too, so I'm from the same mindset as you. I don't know if this is smart, but my kind of mindset, I had myself locked into the positions I wanted to take the first 5 rounds, really, first 6 rounds, which I don't know if that's, obviously I would have changed. Like, you have to go by how your draft's going. But I had a thing here. I wanted running back, wide receiver, tight end, and I was going to do that pretty much as long as those guys were there. And we'll get to the 5th round there in a sec. But for me personally, I had 9 and 16 as my picks. And I felt like if I didn't get 2 running backs there, By the time I was picking again at 33, there's no I mean there's not no running backs, but I just feel like that drop off after my 16th pick, I would have been screwed. So I don't know if most people feel that way, but I think almost in that top 20, you have to at least get one running back, and I wanted two. I ended up getting two. I feel like you usually do the same thing too. I don't know what your thought is on that.
Yeah, that was my plan. I wanted to go running back to start. It didn't work out that way because Calvin Ridley fell to me, and there was not a whole lot of running back in the second round for me at the back half of it. So I went Calvin Ridley, which I'm happy about. But I like what you did. You kind of reached for Montgomery, but at his ceiling, that's going to be a great pick. And you gotta, I mean, they always say go get your guys. So if you had Montgomery slated as a good target, then you got to do that.
Right. Yeah, I had Najee Harris,
back,
Gibson, and Montgomery there in that same kind of like tier, and I think all of them would have been gone after 30. So with the 33rd pick, I feel like it kind of dropped. I don't know. You could get like the Chris Carsons, but you never know who's going to reach, and you could be screwed. So that was my thought process.
Yeah, I ended up going. Had to go RB in round 4, and I got DeAndre Swift, which is just really scary. But who knows? They have a good offensive line, but they're going to be so bad this year. So I'm hoping they just feed him the ball as much as they can, because I mean, your boy Jared Goff just doesn't have a lot to work with there.
Yeah, no. That's actually, yeah, I don't know. People have him even higher. I think he's in that same like category I'm talking about. I'm surprised he fell for you. He's this list. This isn't the ESPN one, but I'm sure it's about the same, like averaging like 29, 30. So, but yeah. So then I guess we can you kind of already talked about the wide receivers. Like one fell to you, so you had to go for it. At 33 and 40, I liked. I mean, there's plenty. I mean, there's like you said, there's so many wide receivers. I think in that 3rd and 4th round, you can kind of. Obviously, I was going to reach for Cooper Kupp. I ended up not even having to do. I literally had like Cooper Kupp down in round 3 or 4, and I was like, see how the draft's going. I'm getting him no matter what. I actually didn't reach for him as much as I was going to. I had Adam Thielen and Cooper Kupp switched there in 3 and 4, but I ended up going Thielen round 3, Kupp 4, because in ESPN for some reason they were flipped. Thielen's just like a guy, I don't know. I think he was having such a good year last year. I was like, let's roll with it, see if he can do it again. I don't know. Like you said, he might fall off and like it might screw me. But those are just two guys I personally like too. So it's like half of that. I don't know.
Okay.
Who'd you end up getting 3 and 4?
I got 3rd round I took Justin Jefferson, and 4th round I got DeAndre Swift. That was your one pick. I wanted to ask you about, because Adam Thielen over Allen Robinson and Taylor McLaurin, that was an interesting choice for me. I don't think I would have done it, but if you're kind of counting on touchdowns with him, he's got a real knack for the end zone. So I mean, if he catches like 10 touchdowns, then that's a great pick. But we'll see. I'm the Jefferson owner, so I'm personally hoping that doesn't go well for you, because I want it to go well for Jefferson, but. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a lot on the board there still, but he was, like I said, it was kind of one of those clocks counting down. I already had him like in my head, so it was like, just go for it before you like auto draft somebody stupid. Like, it's like, so I mean, he was on my I mean, let's see, who else did I have in 3 and 4? So I had Kupp, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, all like as marked around that 33. And then Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore. I don't know how many of these guys were left at that point, but those are kind of the people I would target. Mike Evans I had written down too. So if I got 2 of those 6 guys, kind of was my mindset there. I kind of had the same thing for those first 2 rounds, which we already talked about. But then round 5, I'm curious to see, what tight end did you end up getting and where? Because I want to see if you'll.
Oh my God, yeah, you. Yeah, are you trying to trigger me with this question?
No, I'm actually curious. I actually don't know who you got.
Yeah, I have. I ended up. I was waiting on. I had it all written down. I was like looking at I was tracking literally for the first like 11 rounds, 12 rounds, like who took a quarterback, who took a tight end, like who might take one.
Yep.
And in the let's see, what round was it? So in between I had the let's see, hold on, let's just get to that round. I gotta find the pick that I'm thinking of. Okay, so between the 10th and the 11th round, I had a low, like, back end pick in the 10th and a high end pick in the 11th. And I looked at the people between me, which were Kevin, Cullen, and Tony, and they all had tight ends. And Cullen had taken a tight end like 2 rounds before. So I was like, okay, I can take like a wide receiver I want, wait for the next pick, and I'll take Tyler Higbee, who I was targeting Tyler Higbee, and freaking Cullen, because he doesn't know anything about fantasy football and he's just out to get me, just takes another tight end and he takes Higbee, and I was crushed. And he lives to just mess with me. So I ended up with Irv Smith Jr., who now is getting knee surgery, and Gerald Everett on the. So I took 2 like sleeper guys basically. So I don't have a whole lot of tight end.
Okay. Oh no, that's funny. See, I thought you were being sarcastic when you were like, Cullen, you're doing a good job messing with me. I thought you were messing with him.
No, yeah, he did. He did a fantastic job.
Oh, it's hilarious. So my mindset, I think you probably were the same way, but you went the opposite. Which with quarterbacks and tight ends, it's like you either want one of the top guys or just wait as long as you can and get. So this year I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna try to get one of the top tight ends. I didn't want one of the top 3 because I feel like they just go way too early. So I had Hawkinson, Andrews, Pitts, and Goddard. I don't even know how that's how you say his last name. The guy from Philly. Goddard.
Tried to say it in a French accent.
Yeah, I was like, it's gotta be. There's no way it's.
He's French.
So, I like one of those 4 guys as like your top 6, top 7 tight ends this year, and then I feel like it drops off instead of like. I think most people would tell you get one of the top 3, and then it drops off. I'm just kind of like I'm like over the like streaming tight ends, and I was like, let me just try to get one of the top 6 guys, and maybe it can be like a set and forget, but we'll see. Like I don't know if Pitts is gonna be like the 5th tight end is gonna be that much better than what you'd get at 8, 9, 10, 11, the 12th, the 15th best tight end. It probably won't be that big of a difference, but hopefully maybe it'll work out with one of these guys. So what's your kind of?
So
I guess your
I'm
mindset.
For that. You ended up with.
I ended up with Pitts.
Did you end up with Pitts? I'm looking for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they traded Julio Jones, let him walk. I think they traded him. So that means, they got Calvin Ridley and nothing else. So I think they're counting on Pitts to play a lot and catch a lot of balls. So that could work out really well for you.
Right. And the thing with Hawkinson's the one on the Lions, right?
Yeah.
So I just like you were saying, just the Lions are going to be so bad. Like I was like, I don't know if I want to take somebody this early that's like on a terrible football team. So I don't know. So we'll see if that works out. And then this kind of transition, same kind of mindset with quarterbacks. I think you're the same way. With if you don't get really one of the top 3, I guess it's really about the same. Just kind of wait as long as you can. And I had kind of like you were saying, you were tracking quarterbacks and tight ends. I was doing the. So I really wanted Stafford. A, because I'm a Rams fan. B, because I think he's just gonna jump up another level with McVay. I think his average draft position he's gonna be better than if people are getting him in the hundreds like Matt did, got him at like 110. I think you could get him in the 80s and be comfortable with it. But I had him marked like once people start taking Tom Brady and like those guys around that, I was like, okay, once Tom Brady goes, I gotta take Stafford. So Brady went, and literally the pick before me, Matt takes Stafford, and I was like, son of a gun. So that was like that exact. I think he took him at 111 and 112. I was like, I should have took him at 88. I knew it. I screwed up, but it's just like one of those things. What are you gonna do? I ended up getting Tannehill, and from what you've told me, you actually might even like that more than I do. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I don't have to have 7 Rams on my lineup, but we'll see.
Yeah, you finally learned you don't need 7 Rams in your lineup, and this would be the year to have 7 Rams in your lineup. But I don't. If I was choosing between Tannehill and Stafford, it's a toss up. I think Tannehill is kind of low key one of the most consistent, best options at quarterback, and you got him pretty late. What round did you get? I mean, you said
It was the
10th round.
112th pick.
That's a great spot for him.
Yeah, 10th round.
Yeah, 10th round. I'm looking at your the graph recap by team. But yeah, my philosophy is usually wait till late and get a quarterback. But I mean, I think people are worried about Dak Prescott's injuries, that he won't be as effective as he always has been. But I don't think I don't think the Cowboys defense has gotten much better. And I think I trust him to be. I think it seems like he's going to be back to 100% sooner than later. So I went with him in the 7th round. I felt like that was a really good value. And I mean, if he even comes close to what he was doing last year before he got hurt, that'll be a ridiculous pick. He threw for 450, 472, and 500 yards the 3 games before he got hurt. That's just ridiculous.
yeah, that's true. That's I think he's in that top tier for most people. Say grab like a quarterback who can run and is the Lamar Jackson, Mahomes type tier. I don't know if I would personally, but like you said, if he falls enough to you, then that's what it's like. It's always so situational. You kind of have to like play it by how your draft's going, and when the run for quarterback starts, it's like you kind of have to just time it.
Yep.
Then let's see. I don't know. Because even like, I wasn't going to do it this year, but what is it, so around 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? So I even got Matt Ryan as my backup in 14. And you might even be able to argue some people, like, he wouldn't be comfortable with it, but he could be a starter. I don't know. He's one of those, like, it just depends on the Falcons year, I guess. I don't know when that's going to end. Like you said, there's no more Julio, and that was always kind of like the safety blanket. It's like, oh, Matt Ryan, just throw it up like 10 feet in the air. Julio's gonna go get it for you. Like, maybe that's why he's always been so good. So maybe this year might be his final downfall. But we'll see about that. And then, who'd you mention? Not Jared Cook. Who'd you get for your second tight end? You said somebody that I thought. Gerald Everett?
Gerald Everett. He was on the Rams last year. Now he's on the Seahawks.
I was gonna say that might be, that was like one I was looking for late because I know he's not going early. And Higbee, I'm surprised you like Higbee. I think Higbee's gonna be better than usual because he used to have to split his touches with Everett. I only know that because I'm a Rams fan and I watch just both of them all the time. And it's kind of like they just took from each other. So I don't think the Rams offense targets their tight end, but I think just with him not having the split now, I think he will do better. But yeah, you might have to make a trade with Cullen because he took Rob Gronkowski in like the 3rd round, dude, and we were all laughing at that. We were like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "I knew I shouldn't have started drinking so early." I think he took him at 100 instead of 150. It was like you could have waited so long to do that.
Yeah, that was an interesting move. But yeah, I think how big is Cooper Kupp? Is he like 6'2"? Like how big is he? Is he a big guy?
I don't know for sure, but I think he's I don't think he's like the 5'11", 6 foot. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", like small but like bigger than you'd think.
Yeah, because he's always been like a guy who's like catching touchdowns. So I'm assuming he'll be the #1 red zone target for Stafford. But Robert Woods is like a pipsqueak, so he's like a possession guy. So my thought process behind Higbee, and this is not me analyzing this, it's a lot of fantasy football like writers think this too, that he's going to be like Higbee's huge, like a good red zone target. So he's thinking that Stafford's going to be looking to Higbee a lot in the red zone, so that could equal lots of touchdowns. So I guess we'll see. I won't see because he won't be on my team, but Cullen will have him on his bench.
Yeah, that's absurd.
You want a good episode of your podcast? Get Cullen and I on this together.
Well, yeah, that actually, we'll have to wait. Like the week you guys play each other in fantasy, maybe we should do that. Actually, that would be that'll be fun. Yeah. I haven't had him on the podcast on purpose because he's kind of like a wild card, and I don't know what he's gonna say, especially if we do it live. But I've tried to like loosen up on that anyway too. I'm trying to not be barstool, but like I want to be able to like have fun and drink and curse every once in a while. But I don't want to.
Yeah.
You can't have Cullen ruining people's careers either. You gotta.
That's the new way of cursing and drinking and just being yourself.
Yeah, it's like it tried to button it up too much, and I think it comes off weird. So tried to play the happy ground there. You know, you don't want to get canceled, but you don't want to you don't want to be straight arrow either.
Yeah.
I don't know the late rounds. I mean, I don't really. There's just so much I don't even know how to dive into that besides like.
Well, I mean, who did you did your research for however long you did your research. So what was your after 10th round, what guys were you looking at, late round guys who you think are gonna
Honestly,
be good?
I just have like a top 200 sheet, and I was just crossing off as we went, and it was just one of those things we were going so out of order. It was kind of just like a take the best available type situation. So it's hard to say now because they're just all crossed off now. But I was just, yeah, it was more of just a quick math, average draft position, and why is this guy that was ranked 80 still available when we're in the 140s? So it's look him up real quick. So, in those spots when you're waiting 20 picks, that's what I was trying to is this guy hurt? Why is he falling so much? So I didn't actually have anybody specifically. After the hundreds, 136 was I stopped counting what pick what I had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean if that was an answer, that was a non-answer answer, but that's about
yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I see you took McCole Hardman, you took Sammy Watkins with your last pick, which I thought was a smart pick. Rams defense is always going to be good for you as long as Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey are living.
That was another one. It's do I really want the Rams? But they fell. I looked at first before I took them. I was what's their average draft? They were going at 80, and I got them at 140 or something, or maybe they're going 90 or whatever it was. It was better than I was all right, I'm not gonna reach for the Rams because everybody's gonna make fun of me. But if they fall to me, and everybody else is taking defenses anyway, so it's I might as well take a team I like. And like you said, I mean, Aaron Donald's at least gonna get by himself 8 sacks. I mean, so at least I mean, can they score a little bit? You would think that hopefully Ramsey will get 1 pick six. I mean, for how much money we're paying him, he hasn't yet, but we need. Come on, man. So.
Well, the point of Ramsey is you want everybody else to get the pick sixes because nobody will throw at Ramsey. That's the whole reason to have him.
I guess that's true. It's just lock somebody down, don't let them throw to that half of the field, and hope everybody else can just hold their own.
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know, and I'm wondering too. I don't know if you could look it up quicker than me. If anybody took, I don't want to focus on the Rams too much. But Deshaun Jackson has been maybe the social media person for the Rams just loves him. But every time they post a video from practice, it's Matthew Stafford throwing a 90-yard pass to him just because I guess he's still fast even though he's 40 years old. I don't think anybody's drafted him.
Yeah, he's on the waiver wire.
I don't know. I feel like it's a trick. I think you were hacking into my Twitter algorithm and trying to be damn, dude. So
maybe I was.
That might be a sleeper for people. I don't know because.
Yeah, I think his problem is he's I saw something on Twitter the other day. He literally hasn't played a full season since 2013. Just forever. And he's just he has his one game where he's great, and then he gets hurt, and that's it.
Yeah,
so,
and I think that
start him week 1. Go ahead.
I think that's what's going to happen. Is he's just going to be on people's waivers, and he's probably going to be undrafted in most leagues, and then Stafford's going to throw him an 80-yard bomb in week 3. Everybody's going to pick him up, and then he's probably going to get in trouble and get suspended and not be able to be around for the rest of the year. So. If I had to try to predict the future, that's how that's gonna go. So somebody else can do it for me, so I don't have to have another Ram on my team.
Yeah, he's gonna burn you if you take him and then try to start him for more than 1 week. He's gonna get hurt.
uh, and then I guess the other guy I had, I don't know why I was so hot on him, but I had marked in this 6th round, Robbie Anderson. I just think he was like almost really good with the Jets. And if you're almost good with the Jets, that means you're probably actually really good. So that's a dumbed down way to say that, but like I think his ceiling could be way higher when he's not on the Jets. Do you like him at all? Or I know it's a specific person, but
I do like Robbie Anderson, but who was his quarterback for the Jets? Sam Darnold. It was Sam Darnold, and now Sam Darnold's the quarterback of the Panthers.
But they're not on the Jets though. Maybe don't you get like 5 bonus points when you put on a different jersey?
Yeah, well that's what I'm. Yeah, I would say so, and I think that they got some chemistry from the Jets that'll carry over. I think he's a good fit this year.
So yeah,
that Robbie Anderson.
That's my. I don't think that classifies as a sleeper, but if you're looking for somebody in that 6th round, I don't know. I like where he's at next to like the Kenny Galladays and who else is around him. T. Higgins. Like I don't know how much I trust the Bengals. That was like my thought process there. I mentioned Hawkinson
you trust
earlier.
Sam Darnold though.
Trust is a tough word. You might have me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you wanted to get to? Really, I feel like that was pretty close to everything.
Yeah, I don't know. You just late. I would just say late rounds. Just look for guys who are like have a chance to be their number one on their team, and guys who have a chance like when you're late, like you want to take like the backup. What's his name for the Packers with the huge thighs?
I don't know.
AJ Dillon.
Oh, okay.
If Aaron Jones got hurt, AJ Dillon would be a great player. So you got to try to pick guys with upside late in the draft.
That's true too. I feel like that's why the late rounds it's not a crapshoot, but it is like you're saying you want to pick the guy that's gonna be the guy if somebody gets hurt, which is easier said than done, but that's what you try to hope for or get, I guess, late round. Like I think did I take Tony Pollard or I had him marked down? No,
yeah, you didn't because I did.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't have him, but like that's a perfect. He did it. Was that last year or 2 years ago when Zeke got hurt, and then it was like, wow, okay, he's the guy now. It's so. Half of it's luck, half of it's like, you're looking for it, so it's not really luck because you're like trying to plan for that. But how do you plan on somebody having a season-ending injury is the weird part.
Well, I'm glad to know that you were going to try to snipe my backup, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, maybe you. I don't know when you took him, but he was. I have a little highlighter check next to him, so I know he was on the list.
Yeah, so do I.
That's super funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think that was pretty good. If unless you have
Trey Lance and Justin Fields, take them in the late rounds.
You do like Justin Fields, or you don't?
Both of them. Trey Lance and Justin Fields are both can run, and both are gonna get the starting job sooner than later, and they're going in the late rounds. So I would recommend you try to take one of them as your backup.
There we go. You heard it here first. I was gonna say, do you have?
No, not here first. You heard? This is not first. This is everybody says that. You heard it here like 78th.
Hey! You gotta hype up, man. You can't hype down. We gotta. You got always plug yourself.
But my information is not by myself. I take other people's information and regurgitate it.
Well, we all do. That's the whole thing. It's like you gotta take pieces from everybody and form your own little conclusion. That's super funny. I was gonna say, you have anything else you want on the record last, but then you're like, take. You did it without me even asking.
Yep, that's it.
So I think this actually worked pretty good. I can tell it's like it's delayed a little bit, so I think we've actually been pretty smooth, minus this little there's a half-second delay between when I talk and then I see you nod and answer, and it's like, all right, that didn't go through right away.
Yeah. We're working with it. What we got?
Yeah. So, to everybody, thanks again. We're gonna try to. I want to have a guest on every week, ideally. So, we're gonna have to mark down what week Kyle and Cullen play each other. For those that don't know who Cullen is, I guess you just have to wait until whatever week that is, and I either apologize that you don't know him. I feel like it's both ways. I apologize if you do know him, and I apologize if you've never met him either, because you're missing out either way. One way, it's either like terrible that you know him, or it's terrible that you've never seen such a character. So I don't know how to put that, but all right, let's wrap this up, and before this computer dies on me. And Kyle, thanks again for joining. I know that was tough, annoying. It took us a while to get this going, but everybody for tuning in, thank you. Like, subscribe, share the podcast, and we'll see you next week. Cool.
Bye.
All right, let me end this guy.